evening and welcome to your Community Accountability with Sam and Dave. I'm Sam, your host, and our co-host is Dave. Dave, how you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic.
That is great. Well, this is our sort of would have run into a little bit of a, I would say, an issue.
Exactly.
So,
I got a busy life on Saturday.
Happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying? So, last week, what did you think about last week, Dave? How'd you feel the show went?
What?
You know, I got to say it.
You were wrong?
No, I wasn't wrong.
I was very, when you picked the Bills, I was so concerned. I knew right then. I should have went out and put so much money on Kansas City, I would have been able to pay my house off and everything else. Because I should have known.
Criticism from a lot of friends, from a lot of people I didn't know who messaged me out through Facebook. We did get some emails. People were really interested.
There's two things here I wanted to cover. One's a national history and one's on local history, if that's okay.
Yeah, why don't you jump right in there with some of the national, and we'll see what's happening.
Okay. So this is Black History Month, February. And so I wanted to cover some of the famous black people that a lot of people don't know about. Garrett Augustus Morgan, if anybody knows who he is. He invented the traffic signal, and he invented the gas mask. And in the 1916 tunnel construction disaster, they used his gas mask for a huge rescue. He also developed a chemical hair processing and straightening solution. So that's kind of pretty cool.
That I didn't know.
Now the local one, and this is something a lot of people may not know, but this was the end of the Underground Railroad because a lot of people, Parkhurst Whitney was well aware of this as he supported it. So I just wanted to cover those two and honor Black History Month a little bit here. And so you can go.
Well, I didn't know that. And speaking of that, the inauguration of President Biden was done by Reverend Beeman, who lives in the D.C. area now, but he's originally right here from Niagara Falls. And I think that's sort of a tip of the hat that a resident from here, from Niagara Falls, received an honor to do something like that. Even though I voted for former President Trump, I think it was still something that put Niagara Falls on the map a little bit.
Yes, they were great friends, and that's one of the reasons that he actually did that, because he's known Biden for a long time.
Right.
And he's a very good friend of his. So it was quite an honor for
pieces of their platform, and
plywood,
and naturally, in my just being me, I've questioned all of them and thrown some questions here and there, and a couple of them have some good ideas. I'm really impressed with some of the things that Tracy Bax has put out there. But the key thing, and I don't care which candidate it is, Niagara Falls is not going to go anywhere until we get a handle and a grip on the crime situation. Last year, and it's been pounded to death by many people, there was 18 murders in the city of Niagara Falls. Set an all-time record.
Yep.
Right now, we just had our first murder a couple nights ago on 20th Street. So based on that, we're on course for 12, which is less than last year's. But you know what? Even one murder is too many in the city.
Yes.
And it comes down to people aren't working here. They need jobs. We need to clean up the city. People need to, if they see something, they need to say something. They need to be held accountable. People are squawking lately about no police reports being released to the press on what's going on. And apparently, from what was said back during the previous administration, a young woman unfortunately raped, and all of her information was placed in a news article.
Right.
That just was just flat out wrong. But that does not mean I don't feel that the information should be withheld from the public. They could have said a rape victim, young woman. This is the assailant, and let it be at that. But now the new city administration, they stopped it, said they have to foil the information.
Why did it take them like 16, 18 months after the new administration came in? I mean, they didn't just come in last month and they make this decision, but they've been in for well over a year in November.
Oh, exactly. Well, I'm not a fan of the administration. But they drag their feet on a lot of things, This isn't something new. They should have stopped it then. You shouldn't put out all that information, especially on the victims, even though 10 minutes after something happens, you're going to see it on every social media platform that's out there. I mean, a crime's committed, and there's people videoing it, and it's going Facebook Live. But the fact is now that the news media has to foil the information, and they're going to sit there and someone at City Hall is going to redact the information and only give out certain things. I still think they're doing it to justify somebody's job. I'm sorry. That's just my personal feeling. If I'm wrong, I'm saying I'm wrong. It's just a gut feeling I have.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
We as citizens, as residents of the city, have the right to know, and that's just how I feel. I don't know if somebody has a different opinion. We're all entitled to our own feelings and our own opinions on that.
Correct.
So.
Correct. Well, protecting like you said, protecting the victim is important as well. But there are some questions, I guess you could say, in reference to this of that maybe we don't know that some things are coming out. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's the other key. If that was the administration's intent, then they should have said it the day they stopped it. This is what we want to do. This is why we're doing it. We're coming up with a plan. It's going to be out in a week, 2 weeks, 3, whatever it was. At least there would not be 1,000,001 conspiracy theories out there on the street. That's what I'm complaining about. If you're going to do something, say why you're going to do it. This is our end game plan, and then let it roll out just to stop it. And I don't agree with that type of way of doing business.
Well, we know how Americans love conspiracies.
Please, it's March 4th a conspiracy date?
Yeah, March 4th is the next conspiracy date. We're going to be waiting for that one. And then after that, I'm sure maybe June 4th. I don't know.
It's just gotta, they gotta let it go, like the movie says.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. We should have that music. Let it go.
I want to break that. I hear that thing. I want to break the CD. Believe me when I tell you.
I used to sing that on my bus when I had my clients,
right?
And stuff. I'd put that music in and sing "Let It Go." They loved it.
They say if God gave you a bad voice, sing to get even.
Oh, I had, so it was pretty fun.
So we got a City Hall tomorrow. There is a item on the agenda for the disposition of 420 Parkway. And Memorial Parkway in that section has some gorgeous older homes that have been run down. And that street is slowly coming back to bid. And there were 2 bids came in on it. First bid was by Ryan Kelly and Matthew, 2 gentlemen that bid on it because they were going to live there. They were going to rehab the home. They were going to live there, and that's what they wanted to see in that neighborhood. Whereas the Valley Group was going to put it up for some type of rental property.
Right.
City ended up selling it to them for $1,000. I ended up selling it to Karen Mack and Noah Munoz, who I believe Noah is Karen Mack's son. But Karen buys property, sells them, rents them out, so forth and so on. I think she flips properties quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Bought the property, started doing work on it, and then the city found out, basically they said that the first couple couldn't sell it because of the conditions, but Seth Piccirillo, who was community development director at that time, said, we want to pay them $10,000. He wasn't going to pay the $10,000. Well, tomorrow, lo and behold, city says, we're going to pay the current mayor. It looks like this was nothing but a political ball game back then, which is the problem here in Niagara Falls. It just gets too damn political. It's my way or no way, and that's why nothing gets done. And I'm sorry. It's just that's the kind of stuff that has to stop.
That's the problem everywhere.
Yeah, but it's
not just here.
But this is where we live, and this is where we got to fix it.
I get that. Living in different places, I've seen a lot of stuff. The thing here is, if you want something done, it's got to be done by people, not politicians. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody else does. I'm going to give you another example There was a place called Seabrook back in Texas where I grew up. And we always used to go down there, bring our girlfriends and party, have all kinds of fun, stuff like that, drinking. No, I wasn't drinking. I was watching. Just
You're
kidding.
probably drinking Mountain Dew.
No, I wasn't. No, we might have been drinking. Anyway, when we went back there in 2005, we went to Seabrook, and they actually turned this place into a boardwalk and everything else. And that's the problem with Niagara Falls. They don't have vision. There's nobody who has vision enough to figure this stuff out. I've been saying this. You get on the politicians and everything, but you can do stuff without politicians. But you got to have people with money to do it and people with vision. And they turned that place into like I said, a boardwalk. Now they turned it into a place that's like a tourist attraction. And it's, that's the thing, is we just seem to not be able to do that here.
Well, you know what was happening? People came here with different ideas. They wanted the city to bankroll their ideas. So the city coughed up a lot of money over the years. Those ideas fell through. They ran out of money. Well, look where the old Oxy building is, the Flash Cube. They were going to build Wonder Falls over there. It was the underground aquarium.
Right. I remember
they started digging the hole. They ran out of money. The city wasn't putting no more in there.
Right.
They filled up the hole, and it's a parking lot.
Right.
Developers have to come here with their own money. We just have to make our city attractive enough, a tax base low enough,
for them to
come. And a safe city for them to come here.
Right.
And that's the problem. And I think that's part of the reason with the information not being released the way it is.
Right.
They want the city to look safe.
People getting attacked.
Exactly.
It happened the night of the Bills game or whatever. There was a robbery down by what's his name's hotel, the one that everybody hates.
Hamster.
That's just
Hamster.
Yeah, Hamster. And
Hamster's Follies. Yeah.
Yeah, what a fraud that guy is. Anyway, so there was an attack down there, and there was two people that were robbed. Okay, and they were here as tourists, and that's not what we want to see either. I guess everybody was inside watching the game or something, probably why they were attacked. But there was nobody, no witnesses, nothing. And that was one of the something.
I lost Dave in my headset.
Hello?
Really?
Hello? Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Well, it's funny you say that because...
Got a caller.
Back to when they tore Niagara Falls apart.
60s.
You're exactly right.
You guys there?
Yep.
60s.
Yep. You're exactly right, Joe.
Niagara Falls has been mismanaged for over 50 years. Every political, we need to start improving our neighborhoods, number one. If you improve your neighborhoods, you'll attract people in here. That, in turn, will create small business. And I use Hurdle Avenue as an example, what they're doing in Buffalo. Just imagine Pine Avenue with all the successful businesses with great neighborhoods supporting Pine Avenue. Not going to happen. The city needs to start concentrating on the neighborhoods, number one. We need to stop tearing things down. I'll give you an example, is that Johnny Ryan building. They had kept that old Johnny Ryan building up. That was a nice catalyst to start that neighborhood redevelopment. But we think small-minded. We have nowhere Niagara Falls down for urban renewal. His vision was big. He didn't want small business. He wanted big business. Now, the only thing that happened he didn't like is there's a white horse shit on the city of Niagara Falls. There's still shit in Niagara Falls. We need to start thinking outside the box. You need to work with developers. And the money's there. But you have to help developers out. But you have to bring reputable developers in that want to do something.
Yeah, rebuild the canal.
Well, you got to rebuild. I keep saying, if you don't rebuild your neighborhoods, you're not. Listen, property's selling in Niagara Falls like crazy.
It is.
I have a friend sold the house in 2 days on 74th Street for a cash deal of $140,000.
Yeah.
All right, cash deal. People can't find houses in Niagara Falls. We're only 25 miles from downtown Buffalo. But people are moving back into the city. but you have to give them a reason to stay in this city and shop in our city. And like you said, Sam, you got to get a handle on this crime.
Right. People come 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. People are in their houses, on their porches, locking the doors. They're not going out. Joe, you know as well as I do, because we both grew up in the same area, Pine Avenue area, when we were kids.
That way, nothing's going to happen. You can have 100 developers with a plan to come in and rebuild downtown Niagara Falls. But what's happening with the rest of the city? What's happening with all the... It's the same game, different ball players.
Right.
How it is. Yeah. Coming out to run for council. All right. Vote show. I've done nothing for 4 years running up for re-election again.
Well, he's got a list of accomplishments he posted on his webpage.
He said people don't understand what the council does. Council's main responsibility is control our spending. And I think that this administration has his fingers on the council race very strongly. And I'm going to tell you why. Why did Trish Bax leave the Democratic Party to the Republican Party? And she's very close to the Rustinos. All right? Trish Bax worked at AAA for 35, 40 years with our city clerk,
right,
Kathy Ligamari, who's the head of the Libertarian Committee, who gave Rustino the endorsement, who gave her a job.
And the Libertarian Party is no more.
Right. So, the Democrats got to put a person in that seat.
Right. Correct.
And I don't know. Rustino has the grass he wants in the summer. All right, like he did the last time he ran. Yeah. What makes him any better than anybody else for that council?
The process of getting on the ballot. We're going to start doing our due diligence here, and we're going to lay these questions on the candidates. And I hope callers like yourself and others.
I don't have a strong feeling for anybody running for city. I am sure when your Bill's hat is sitting next to you.
I saw it.
I was going to mention that. I thought Sam's the biggest Buffalo Bill fan.
No.
Right now, so, but he's got that Bills hat.
I figured that stirred a pot with a few people seeing the Bills hat next to me.
And don't forget, you owe me 2 breakfasts too from the Raiders game,
dude. All you got to do is call and meet me. You tell me. It's in your ballpark.
You got to pay though.
No, no, bet's a bet. I honor my bets. Joe, thanks for calling in, buddy. You have a great night.
All right.
Yeah, Joe and I go back to
Rome,
Midtown, pretty much Midtown Little League. Midtown Little League.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to spend all our days there playing Little League. It was just a great park, and that's what he said about the neighborhoods. That was just a good neighborhood. Didn't have to worry about anything. I grew up on 25th Street between Pine and Walnut. We played at which is Gill Creek Midtown Little League on 30th and Niagara. My folks never had to worry about the area or anything.
This sounds like some revisionist history. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember living on Falls Street and 20th or whatever, 19th maybe. And it was bad back then. And that was in the late 70s before we moved to Texas.
Well, it was getting bad back then. I'm talking about...
Oh, yeah, you're real old. I forgot.
Yeah, dude.
That's right. You're going back to the 40s.
Yeah, I was playing Little League
right.
in 65 and 66. Then? Yeah.
Okay, see, I grew up in town of Niagara. Well, I was born in the town of Niagara, so I played baseball out there. And then, you know how that divorce thing works. You know, we were forced into poverty and everything else because my father didn't. Back then, the mail didn't have to really pay anything. So basically, we were forced down to 19th Street. And, that's where I learned a lot of stuff. Let me tell you. So,
there's
a reason we went to Texas, man.
I don't blame you.
Jobs were now that's the thing. Niagara Falls has been in this funk for a long time, and we'll go back to the 70s. Okay, because when these companies started closing up and moving away and everything else, because we left in 77 for a reason.
Yeah, but they were still going though. I mean, the plants didn't start closing up till sometime in the mid 80s, shortly after Love Canal. Or just before,
Love Canal was in the late 70s.
Right.
I lived there. I did live in Love Canal, by the way.
I almost bought a house there.
Somebody there?
Good evening. You're on your community accountability with Sam and Dave. Who's calling?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, who do we have there?
My name's Kurt.
Kurt? I know a Kurt.
I
He's
know
a pain-
Kurt also.
He's a pain in the ass. Is that the Kurt?
Well, listen, I want to know why we're hearing about Dave's youth. We don't need to hear about that.
Because this is a podcast, and we're going to give all kinds of different variations. We're going to cover a lot of different things, and
Well, here I got one for you, Niagara Falls boys. Okay, and it's the same in Niagara Falls, and it's the same in the rest of Erie County. Okay, crime dictates development. The more crime you have, the less development. The more development stops the crime. It's a wicked circle,
right.
But you need someone to come in and invest that money.
Right.
Okay. I also sent a question about our wonderful governor. What happened to all this tax money and lottery money that was supposed to go, and casino money supposed to go for schools and to help, certain areas? To be honest with you, let's face it, the schools are always broke. Where's this money going? And these people are making $250,000 a year to be a director in the lottery. Come on.
That's a phenomenal question, Kurt, because I always said that. Wait a minute. So much of this money is supposed to go back to the school systems to help reduce their costs to improve the schools. Yay! And then one day I see they had a special lottery for interest that was from the lottery money that they're putting back out there. Wait a minute. That money's supposed to go to the schools. It's not supposed to stay in there and make another lottery out of it. The casino money.
That's exactly correct.
The casino money, the city of Niagara Falls got $249 million over a 12 or 13-year period. That was just a percentage of what the state got. The state got 25% of the share, and then we got 25% of that, so we really got a quarter of the percent. We pissed away $249 million. I think
that's my exact question to you is, where is that $249 million?
Now, wait a minute. We don't know where it went to.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Well,
Where?
Well, Hard Rock, a national corporation. The city was spending $50,000 to $100,000 a week at the Hard Rock to have outside concerts.
I thought the liberal Democrats gave it away.
Pretty much. They had a holiday fair that was supposed to look like one of these big New York City or European outdoor Christmas markets, $500,000, and it was a bunch. There was
like
some
a
vendors that made
third-world
money.
nation.
Don't get me wrong, but it was so poorly set up and advertised, and I think the guy ran off with the money. $500,000 for a dilapidated fire hall that was supposed to be renovated.
Dilapidated.
And it's still sitting there boarded up. We pissed away a lot of money. Developers. It's crazy.
The elephant in the room is that David is actually correct on one item. You need tourism, okay? And in his profession and in a lot of professions, you guys are built in. You have Niagara Falls. People flock to the falls. You're not capitalizing 100% on all that money or that revenue that could be there.
You're right. It should be a gimme.
You're right. It should be given. I mean, basically, if you kept the streets, a little safer and cleaned it up a little bit, you guys should be raking in tax money. From that alone, your town shouldn't have to pay anything.
But here's the other problem. The way the state has it set up, once those people get into the city, they direct them into the state parks, and they sort of keep them trapped there. So those people aren't going out into the community, going to the Michael's restaurants or the Como restaurants. They try to keep them locked up downtown in state-run operations. That's part of the problem.
Well, wait a minute. What are they supposed to do? I mean, you want to send them down 19th Street and have them...
No, hell no. But we're not...
On your left, the coastal.
I sit there and I tell people where not to go.
That's what the city needed to capitalize on that so that they can pull them out of the state parks. I mean, the people pay all this money to park in the state parks, but the city of Niagara Falls has to keep the roads up. They have to do the grass cutting, all that stuff. Do you know how much the city of Niagara Falls gets from the state parking? Zero.
No.
If we got $1 per each car that the state parked, we'd have $4 or $5 million in the state budget. The city
is that
budget.
a fact or is that not
That's
a
fact?
It's a fact? Okay.
That's a fact.
Listen, I don't know you guys, but I believe Sam. He sounds much more reliable than that other oaf who was on.
He knows the
listen, guys.
He knows the political nonsense. I know the everyday nonsense.
Listen. By the way, of everyday nonsense, you owe me a lunch, Florio. You and Sam, we got to get together one day. You keep putting it off. I don't know what it is.
We did that. Come on down to Niagara Falls. We could do that. Sam and I.
I said I'd like to. I haven't been to the Como in a while, but I don't know what else is around there. No,
Denny's.
Denny's? No, thank you.
If I gotta pay,
no, I don't do Denny's. You're paying?
Well, if we go to Denny's, I will.
Oh well, sure. 55 and older menu we got to order off of.
Well,
and what do you get the kitty? What do you want, the kitty discount, Dave, or what?
Well,
he gets the tourist discount.
I figure you get a Grand Slam, $6.99.
There you go.
Hey, come on down.
I don't put anything else impure in my body anymore.
I'm not doing Italian food.
We'll go to Buzzy's.
That's fine for lunch. I don't blame you. But,
Buzzy, come to Buzzy's with us.
Where's Buzzy's?
It's on Niagara Falls Boulevard, 77th Street, right on Niagara Falls Boulevard. They got a great and come for lunch because I can get you a lunch special for $5.99.
You're amazing.
What a cheap bastard.
I'm telling you, isn't he? Always has been, always will be. What do they serve there?
Everything.
Pizza,
wings.
the pizza is the
they
best.
got some good pizza.
Now the chicken fingers, I'm sorry, but they lost it on the chicken fingers. I don't know what happened, but sorry, Buzzies.
Well, you know why? You're not drinking Mountain Dew anymore. That turns your flavor.
with Phillips.
I send people there for pizza. I don't send them there for chicken fingers.
When they cut you off getting the brown bag lunches at the schools, right? For your tour groups.
Yeah, there you go.
But I will send them there for pizza.
A little advice, and I got to run. I like the show. You guys handle it well, but your transmission sucks.
No, that's Facebook, Kurt. That's we've been trying to fix it all night. And it's Facebook.
I'm on
itself.
YouTube.
Well, no,
I'm on YouTube, and
same thing. It's something to do with the internet service here.
It could be the weather getting bad today, and it's getting the internet all whacked out.
I thought it was when it's funny, but when your face was on alone, Sam, there was no problem. As soon as Dave's came on, it started wigging out.
Well, can you figure? Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Hey, Kurt, great show. Nice talking to you. We're going to do lunch, all of us.
Any Tuesday or Wednesday, buddy. Give me a call.
I can do it I can't tomorrow. I got some, but.
Well,
let me know.
This week, obviously.
Well, hey.
I will. We'll hook up.
Take
care, guys.
Quit talking and do some action, buddy.
All right.
All right. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer.
Our good friend Kurt from out there in Amherst.
Yeah.
Another one of our collection buddies.
I don't know about friend, but.
Yeah, it has to, gentlemen, it has to be the internet because you've probably been watching me here. I brought up all these support things we're getting from the software company. They are looking at how we're operating, and they're saying it's with the internet providers. So I have to say, maybe it is the bad weather, but our apologies for this, and I'm going to try something else after this to change the output.
Because I've had people messaging me, texting me that whether it's on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah, I got one too.
They're having some issues. So
they said that. So yeah,
but
unfortunately,
I want to get because we're gonna cut today's short a little bit because I have a commitment. Friend passed away, so anyways, I got an email from a young lady who lives out there in Cayuga Village, and I think this is something that has to do with being accountable for your area. I'm just going to skim through her email that she sent. She lives out there in Cayuga Village, and she's talking about the management team there, the company that owns it. She's been complaining, bitching. Drug dealings go on left and right through there. Cars fly through the park.
Cayuga
Village, trailer park.
The
mobile homes.
The one by Wildwood Acres?
No, Cayuga Village is up there by
wait a minute.
By the bowling alley.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I know which one. Okay.
She's been trying to they've called the police department, and the police department basically says it's a privately owned property. They just can't go on there and patrol. So she's looking for some help. She's called the health department, New York State Health Department. Clearway Trail is the landlord. they're not getting any. They're not helping them out. But here's a young woman. She's trying to make her area that she lives nice and peaceful, so that they can have a nice home there. And when the people that own the place and manage the place don't give a rat's ass, people within the village get disgusted, they get aggravated. And I think that's the same thing that happens in the city of Niagara Falls. People go into some of these homes, the landlords don't give a rat's ass. Why is the tenant going to care? So I did send her out some information, gave her some names to call. One of them was our Assemblyman Angelo Mornello and Senator Rob Ort. Hopefully they could try to shake something up and help this young lady out and make this place, just make it a little bit nicer out there and get some answers from the powers to be that own the place.
Since when can't police go on private property?
She said they called her. They told her something about it being privately owned, that they can't patrol it all the time. And I don't know if it might have been the town of Niagara Police. I'm not sure.
So if there's a crime committed there,
they can go there then.
Oh, okay.
You know.
But okay, so she just wants them to patrol the place.
Oh, Expressway Park. I'm sorry. I had the wrong place. Expressway's up by
by the
expressway, off of Porter Road.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and I feel bad for her. It's her and her husband.
That was a nice park. My mom lived there in the 90s. It was a nice park. So
it's things like that need to get fixed. That people just want a nice place to live.
Yeah.
People want to you look out for your neighbor. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we're all on this rock for the same. For a very small period of time, and
it's not a rock.
Well,
it's flat.
Hey Sam, why don't you make contact with her or send me her information? We could go up and do a little bit of video footage there and talk to some people, and let's make this a story. Like,
that's a good idea.
Now I know a contentious name that's out there, and nobody likes to hear it. Are the New York Watch County are looking for service projects to do. They've been doing them for veterans, etc. Maybe they'll get involved in helping with some type of calming there, but definitely get them in touch with us. We'll go up and shoot at that location and get some idea of what's happening.
All right, this sounds good. I'll reach out to her. I'll send her an email. Maybe we get her call in here one of these next couple of weeks and discuss it
Sure.
a little bit more.
Good idea.
With that being said, I do want to fly out of here just a little bit earlier. Dave, any closing remarks?
I don't know.
You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Well, we've covered a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot still more to cover that I can go all day on as far as for the tourism and stuff that we could do to fix this place. I brought it up again, the canal. Okay, and I've been told I've been crazy about this idea. But being down in San Antonio, actually I was down in basic training for in San Antonio in the late 80s, early 90s, but they had the Riverwalk, okay? And basically I would love to see Niagara Falls do something like that with the canal that was built here, which went from the Tesla plant all the way over to the Sholkoff plant. Now, the things I hear is you can't do that. Why can't you do that? Well, because there's buildings in the way. You know what? That's the problem. We don't have vision. Okay, we could rebuild that canal and have it. I've already talked to tourists about this. Believe it or not, I've even mentioned it to them. And they're like, wow, that sounds like a great idea. See, that's what I'm talking about lack of vision.
It would draw people. You're exactly right. When you first told me, it was like, I scratched my head. I was like, no, wait, you know what? Dave's got a good point there.
Yeah, it would draw people, and it would help revitalize, build I lost my train of thought. Hold on. I told you about the other thing, the fort.
Right.
Fort Schlosser.
Right.
Okay? Rebuild it. Let's bring it back to its old glory. It doesn't matter if it's not totally there. There's a lot of them that are rebuilt 100%. And these are some of the things that draw people. Because I get people asking me all the time, is there anything else to do? And I do find them stuff. I mentioned the Underground Railroad Museum, which is absolutely unbelievably awesome.
Right.
Okay, if you have not been there, go there. Okay? And I bring up this stuff. I bring up the fort. I bring up this stuff. But we got to get more. And that's the whole thing. You start doing that, And like Kurt was saying, tourism matters, and it would help increase. It would help the city immensely. Look at Niagara Falls, Ontario.
And it's got to be tourism with that's fun activities for the kids.
You got to have that.
family.
Yes.
They want to be engaged and be busy and get their minds moving and things of that nature. But it all comes back to making our neighborhood safe.
And with this, I'm going to leave one other thing that I'm going to tell you guys about next week, but I'm going to let you sit on it for a while, okay? And see if anybody knows about this. You ever heard of Ramses? The Bible.
Okay.
The guy the guy with Moses? Ramses the first. The very first one. His great-grandfather, he was the first generation, lived in Niagara Falls.
Really?
I'll tell you next week.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it at that. See if some of you guys can figure it out.
Sounds good. Well, ladies and gentlemen and listeners, this is Sam and Dave. Thanks for listening. See you next Tuesday. Your community accountability. Have a good week.